Hello everyone, this is Chemistry Notes Part 5, the ionic compounds. These notes are going to be relatively short. They're just going to give you a background on what ionic compounds are, and then the Part 6 notes will actually go into how do we do the ionic bonding. So, ionic compounds. What is an ionic compound? An ionic compound is two or more elements bonded together made out of a cation. Now, no matter however you feel about cats, as far as chemistry is concerned, cats are positive, cats are good. So cation is a positively charged ion. And an anion, which is a negatively charged ion. So, cation, positive, anion, negative. This is just one of those things that you're going to have to know. I'll help you out for the first couple, but you will have to memorize it going forward, especially next year. So, if you like cats, good for you. Maybe that positive will stick a little bit firmer for you. If not, you're just going to have to think, darn cats, but as far as chemistry is concerned, they're positively charged. So, how do they actually bond together? So we're going to look at an example where we have lithium and fluorine. Now, when we look lithium up on our periodic table, we find it here. It's got a charge of, it's got an atomic number 3, a charge of 1 plus, and an atomic mass of 7. So remember all of our plus signs. If you want on your periodic table, you can write a little 1 in beside in front of it. So we're going to write it here on our page. We've got lithium, 1 plus, 3, and 7. We're going to bond it together with fluorine. When we look at fluorine, atomic number of 9, atomic mass of 19, and it's got a little minus sign, which means it's got a charge of 1 minus. Fluorine, 9, 19, 1 minus. Remember the plus and the minus go afterwards. This is going to be really important when you're writing your things today. I'm going to be looking to docu marks if you put the plus and the minus in front of. This is just how things are done universally in the chemistry world. We have all agreed pluses and minuses in chemistry go after. So, we got our protons and protons, neutrons and neutrons, electrons, electrons, and we're going to look at our electrons in an atom and also our electrons in an ion, because they're going to be important for us today. So, when you look up our protons for lithium, it's going to be the same as our atomic number. So that's going to be 3. Our neutron is going to be our atomic mass minus our atomic number. So 7 minus 3 gives us 4. Our electrons are going to be in an atom, the same as the atomic number. So that's going to be 3. And then in our ion, it's going to be 3. Opposite of the ionic charge, so opposite of 1 plus is going to be minus 1, and that gives us 2. For fluorine, our protons are going to be the same as the atomic number, so that's 9. Neutrons are going to be the atomic mass minus the atomic number, so that's 10. Our electrons in an atom are going to be the same as the atomic number, so that's 9. And in an ion, we start with that 9, do the opposite of the ionic charge. So we add 1 instead of subtract 1, and we get 10. Okay, so we are going to draw 2 Bohr models side by side. I'm going to draw lithium first, and I'm going to tweak it slightly. You'll see why shortly. And we're going to draw them as an atom. So when I look at lithium on my periodic table, I see it's in the second row. And it's going to have 1 electron in that second shell because it's the first one down. So we've got our protons 3, I want to get my sizing right, so let's do it there. Protons 3, neutrons 4, wrapped in the nucleus. In that first shell, we always have our 2 electrons up at the top. And then I'm going to break the rules slightly, and you'll see why in a second. For my electron, I'm not going to draw it up at the top like I normally would. I'm going to draw it over here on the east side. And this is to make my bonding easier in a second. Okay? Then we are going to draw our fluorine. Protons 9, neutrons 10. We look up our fluorine. Also has 2 shells. And if you count it over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's going to have 7 electrons in that outermost shell. So 2 electrons. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see right now that in order for fluorine to have a full outer shell, to gain that 1 extra electron, so it's actually going to steal the electron from lithium. So this electron is going to get transferred. I'm going to draw in a kind of hashed line to represent that new circle, and it's going to move from the lithium to the fluorine. And this is more stable because then each of them have a full shell. So they want to do that. And naturally, if you put lithium atoms beside fluorine atoms, this is what will happen. Then, once that happens, we have something that looks like this. Protons 3, neutrons 4, wrapped in the nucleus. And now we just have the 1 shell with 2 electrons because that 3rd electron is lost. As far as our fluorine goes, it's now going to have 2 full shells. So 9, 10, wrapped in the nucleus. First shell has 2. Second shell goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so that's 5, 7, 8. So now this, because it has lost that electron, has a 1+ charge. And this, because it has gained 1 electron, has a 1- charge, just like we saw in our periodic table. And it's this difference of charges that creates an attraction between the two. So just like magnets, that positive wants to be beside the negative. They want to balance each other out as far as that charge goes to get to 0. So when we talk about what an ionic bond is, we actually have the electron transfer happen first, and then the attraction is the ionic bond. So an ionic bond is the attraction between a cation's positive charge and an anion's, that was weird, negative charge. So I made this example fairly simple, but what you will notice is that they don't always balance with a 1+ and a 1-. Sometimes these numbers on the charges are going to be different. You might have a 3+ and a 1-, or a 4+ and a 3-, and you have to figure out how to balance those. So, but when we look at the ionic bond in general, ionic bonds always have an overall charge of 0. They will always balance until you have a charge of 0. Have a good day.